Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
Today, we're bringing you an upper intermediate lesson and something that we all do.
Right. Talking to ourselves.
Talking to ourselves, right?
Yeah.
I think everyone does it. You think to yourself or you talk to yourself.
Yep.
And we're going to be doing that today, but we're going to be looking at some specific vocabulary. Erica, why don't you tell us about that?
Well, unfortunately, we're going to be following a guy as he's in a really embarrassing situation. And we're going to hear him call himself some bad names in his mind.
So he's a little bit nervous and he thinks he is not very smart, right?
That's right.
Okay, so before we start with this dialogue, there are a couple of words that we should look at in vocabulary preview.
Vocabulary preview.
All right, we're going to hear both of these words in the dialogue. And the first one is famished.
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 Okay, so famished is an adjective.
That's right. Meaning very, very, very hungry.
Very, very hungry. Okay, so just very hungry. Very easy.
Yes.
Famished.
Now, what about our next one? Sexist.
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 Another adjective to describe a person, right?
Right. Or a thing, I guess. Like, yeah, an idea.
Okay, so a sexist person would be...
Somebody who judges people by their sex.
Okay.
So, like, all women are stupid, for example.
Which is not true, of course.
No, of course not.
Right? So sexist works both ways.
Yes.
A woman can be sexist. A man could be sexist.
Exactly. Meaning the woman thinks all men are stupid.
Which is also not true.
Yes. Let's just be clear about that.
All right. So now that we've taken a look at these two phrases, let's start with our dialogue, and we'll be back to talk about all the great words.
Miss, your salad.
Looks good. I'm positively famished.
And for you, sir. Thank you. Enjoy.
Thank
you.
I can't believe she's on a date with me. I'm so lucky. I must be the luckiest guy in the world. I want to scream at the top of my lungs. I'm the luckiest dude in the world. Oh, shut up. Don't be such a dumbass. She's so hot. Wait, I can't say that. That's sexist. She's so hot, she's making me sexist. Oh my god. I'm such a tool. Okay, get it together. Oh, she's eating salad. Oh, right. I have a salad. Oh, crap. Which fork do I use? Damn it. She's gonna think I'm a moron. What the hell are all these forks for? Which one did she use? Okay, chill. Be cool. Be cool. Just take a fork. Eat your salad.
Sorry, what were you saying?
You're eating my salad.
Oh, yes, it's delicious.
Okay, embarrassing first date, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I really do feel sorry for this guy.
Well, it happens to us sometimes. We are in the company of a very beautiful girl and we just get really nervous.
All right. Well, psychologists call this negative self-talk.
Really?
Yeah, this sort of calling yourself names and talking negatively about yourself. But actually, you can use some of this language to talk negatively about
others.
Yeah. So why don't we look now at this language in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
So on Language Takeaway today, we have 5 words. Let's start with our first one.
Dumbass.
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 Okay. Now, this isn't a very polite word, I would say.
Definitely not polite.
Okay. But what is a dumbass?
Well, it's obviously a dumb, stupid idiot.
Okay, so it's a person that is not very intelligent.
And our next word is also quite similar.
Moron.
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 A moron.
If a person is a dumbass or a person is a moron, what's the difference?
Well, basically, a moron is someone who is not smart, who is very unintelligent.
Okay.
Okay, so they don't know what 1 + 1 is.
Okay.
All right. But a dumbass is a person who does stupid things.
Okay.
So maybe a dumbass, like you're planning a bank robbery and the dumbass forgets to bring the gun.
Okay. That is a dumbass. All right.
Yeah.
So maybe moron is a little bit less offensive. And it's
Yeah.
actually, you'll find it in the dictionary, right?
Yeah.
Whereas a dumbass, I don't think you'll find it.
Yeah, it's slang.
It's slang. Exactly.
Now, what about this next? It's also a negative name you can call people. A tool.
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 This is very strange because I don't know how a tool can be something negative
Yeah.
towards a person.
Yeah.
But it actually means the opposite, right? If a person is called a tool, it means they are
Useless.
useless, right?
Yeah.
So if you ever called a tool, they're saying that you're useless.
Exactly.
You're good for nothing.
All right. Well, these are 3 interesting words. So why don't we hear some examples of each of these words in use?
Example 1.
I hate Tom. He's such a dumbass. Last week he borrowed my mobile phone and dropped it in the pool.
Example 2.
I don't like Kevin very much. He can be a real moron at times.
Example 3.
He was looking for a job, but he didn't even have a resume prepared. He's such a tool.
Okay, so great examples. And here at English Pod, we're bringing you real street talk.
Exactly. Language as it is spoken by today's youth.
Okay, now let's take a look at our last 2 words.
All right. Well, these phrases you can use when you're trying to calm yourself down and make yourself relax a little bit, right?
Right. Let's take a look at the next one. Chill.
Chill.
Okay, chill.
Chill.
So again, relax.
Calm down.
Calm down.
Yeah.
You need to chill.
Yes. And then you also need to be cool.
Be cool.
Be cool.
Now, if you can tell, the pattern is related to temperature, right?
Yeah.
Chill is cold, cool is similar to cold.
Yep.
So again, that's what it means to relax.
To calm down your emotions.
Right.
Make your emotions not so hot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So chill, be cool.
Exactly. And you use them together like that, don't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, chill also has another way of using it, right?
Exactly.
You can say, I'm chilling with my friends.
Yeah, we're chilling here in the English Pod studio.
Which means we're just relaxing.
Yes.
We are just having fun.
Yep.
Not doing anything, right?
Exactly. But you can't say chilling. You have to drop the G.
Yeah, you have to try. Right. You can't say I'm chilling.
Yeah.
You have to say I'm chilling.
I'm chilling.
Okay, so that's all for language takeaway. But now let's take a look at some of the really useful phrases that we saw in this dialogue in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Okay, so this guy is so happy he's on this date that he wants to scream at the top of his lungs.
Scream at the top of my lungs.
Scream at the top of my lungs.
So basically, he just wants to, scream.
To shout really loudly.
Really loudly.
Yeah.
He's so excited, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so for example, sometimes you're at a concert, right?
Yep.
And you need to talk to your friend and you're screaming at the top of your lungs because the other person can't hear you.
Exactly. Or maybe you're lost in the woods and you need to scream at the top of your lungs so that someone will hear you and find you.
All right, very good. Okay, so scream at the top of my lungs. Mm-hmm. Our next phrase.
Get it together.
Get it together.
Get it together.
So if I tell you, Erica, you need to get it together.
Basically, you're telling me to calm down, relax.
So pull your emotions together,
Yeah.
get your ideas straight.
Right. So it kind of gives you this idea that you got to pull, like you said, pull your emotions together in a little box and tie them up.
All right, so get it together.
Yep. So, Marco, when would you use this phrase, get it together?
I guess when somebody is either very emotional, maybe crying or
Yeah.
very nervous,
Yeah.
you tell the person, oh, get it together,
Yeah.
relax.
Yeah.
Or when somebody maybe is not doing something good in their life,
Yeah.
like making bad decisions
Yeah.
or not being responsible, you tell that person, you need to get it together,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay. So now why don't we move on to our next phrase? And this is really, really high frequency. I think
Yep.
you would hear it all the time.
All right. So, what the hell?
What the hell?
What the hell?
So why would you say what the hell?
Well, obviously, you're asking a question, right? Because
Right.
you've got your W you got your what. But when you say the hell, you're putting emphasis on the what.
So you're asking a really strong question.
Right, but it's not polite.
It's not polite.
Yep.
Okay. So if I say, what the hell is going on? What's happening?
Really, really what's happening.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and we can change it a little bit. We can replace the what with another WH, like
Yeah.
why,
How,
where or when.
yeah.
Okay.
So why don't we hear some examples of how this expression is used using different WH words?
Example 1.
Where the hell are you? I've been waiting for hours.
Example 2.
How the hell did you do that? That was amazing!
Example 3.
When the hell are you going to find a job? I'm tired of paying for everything.
Example 4.
Who the hell are you? I don't know you.
All right. Now our final word, also a little bit strong, but pretty high frequency.
Oh, yeah. Very high frequency.
Oh, crap.
Oh, crap.
Oh, crap.
So it's a little bit strong, but less strong than maybe saying a really bad word, right?
Yes.
But it's definitely saying, like, you made a mistake, right?
Yeah, it's
And
like a really strong oh no.
oh no, exactly. A really strong oh no.
Yep.
But I guess not many people say, oh no, you know?
Yeah. Oh no, I just lost $10 million.
Exactly, right? You would not say that.
Yeah.
So it's a very strong oh no, but it's not as strong as it could be.
There are other words out there that are stronger, but we are not going to go into them here.
But maybe you guys know, so let us know.
Yes.
We can definitely keep an eye out on the comment section.
But don't write the words in the comment section.
Okay, so we saw some really great phrases, some really great words, a lot of informal language, but it's very high frequency and you'll use that with your friends or you'll see it in movies, TV shows.
Yeah, really common in movies and TV shows.
Exactly. So let's listen to this dialogue one more time and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more.
Miss, your salad.
Looks good. I'm positively famished.
And for you, sir. Thank you. Enjoy.
Thank
you.
I can't believe she's on a date with me. I'm so lucky. I must be the luckiest guy in the world. I want to scream at the top of my lungs. I'm the luckiest dude in the world. Oh, shut up. Don't be such a dumbass. She's so hot. Wait, I can't say that. That's sexist. She's so hot, she's making me sexist. Oh my god. I'm such a tool. Okay, get it together. Oh, she's eating salad. Oh, right. Never the salad. Oh, crap. Which fork do I use? Damn it. She's gonna think I'm a moron. What the hell are all these forks for? Which one did she use? Okay, chill. Be cool. Be cool. Just take a fork. Eat your salad.
Sorry, what were you saying?
You're eating my salad.
Oh, yes, it's delicious.
So these slang words, they're actually very common, right?
Yeah, I think like you said, it's not likely that you'll find them in a dictionary.
Of course. And you can find them in movies or sometimes when you're having a conversation, a very informal conversation with a native speaker.
Yep.
These words will slip out and these slang terms will come up.
Exactly. And you know what? There's a great resource out there for wonderful English slang terms called urbandictionary.com.
Exactly. If you ever see a word that maybe you can't find in the conventional dictionary, you're probably going to find it there.
Your mind speaks louder when you're nervous. Sometimes the biggest battles don't happen between two people. They happen inside your own head. You walk into a room, sit down at a table, and suddenly your mind is racing. Why did I wear this? What if I say something stupid? Please don't let me spill my drink. This kind of thinking is called self-talk, the private voice that runs through your thoughts, especially during awkward or stressful moments. And the truth is, we all do it. In real life, self-talk can be helpful, but it can also turn against us. One moment you're feeling confident, and the next you're calling yourself names in your own mind. Idiot, fool, loser. These are harsh words people sometimes use on themselves when they feel embarrassed. It might be during a job interview, a presentation, or even a first date when things aren't going as planned. Understanding how to recognize and respond to this kind of inner language is a valuable skill, not just for your emotional health, but for improving your English too. English speakers use many casual and even funny words to describe themselves when they mess up. For example, the word moron means someone who is very unintelligent. If you forget someone's name right after meeting them, you might think, ugh, I'm such a moron. Another word is tool, which means someone who is useless, silly, or awkward. A person might say, why did I wear this outfit? I look like such a tool. These aren't kind words, but they show the way people often express embarrassment or frustration with themselves in real-life English. One stronger slang word is dumbass. It's not polite, but it's very common in movies and informal conversations. A person might say, I'm a dumbass for saying that in front of her, or he's such a dumbass for forgetting the tickets. These kinds of words are usually spoken to yourself or jokingly to close friends, but they should be used carefully because they are impolite and emotional. The inner voice can get louder during high-pressure moments. Imagine being on a date with someone you really like. You're trying to look calm, but inside, you're panicking. What do I say next? Did I laugh too loudly? Which fork do I use? These questions may never come out of your mouth, but they race through your brain, creating stress and confusion. In English, people sometimes describe this experience as spiraling, which means losing control of your thoughts and becoming overwhelmed. To stop this, people use phrases like get it together or pull yourself together. These expressions mean you need to calm down, clear your mind, and focus. Saying get it together is a way of telling yourself, stop panicking, breathe, and think clearly. Learning this kind of emotional vocabulary not only helps you understand native speakers better, but also gives you the words to describe your own feelings in daily life. Whether you're speaking out loud or just thinking silently, the way you talk to yourself matters. It shapes your confidence, your communication, and your ability to stay calm when life gets awkward. It's easy to laugh at someone else's awkward moment, but when it's happening to you, it's not funny at all. Imagine sitting across from someone you like, trying to act natural, but your brain is running wild. You start overthinking every move. Do I have food in my teeth? Am I talking too much? Why did I say that? This is the classic pattern of negative self-talk, when your thoughts turn critical and your inner voice becomes your biggest enemy. In English, we have expressions that reflect this kind of mental panic. One popular phrase is what the hell. This is an informal, slightly rude way to express confusion or frustration. It's often said when something unexpected or embarrassing happens. For example, what the hell is wrong with me? Or what the hell did I just say? These sentences aren't polite, but they're very common when people are stressed or shocked by their own actions. Another strong but widely used expression is oh crap. People usually say this when they realize they've made a mistake. It's similar to saying oh no, but more emotional. Imagine accidentally sending a message to the wrong person or spilling your drink in public. You might immediately say, oh crap. It's simple, informal, and packed with feeling. These phrases are part of real-life English. You'll hear them in TV shows, movies, or when native speakers are dealing with minor disasters. They're not formal, so they're not for job interviews or business emails, but in casual conversation, they help express real emotion fast and naturally. Now let's look at what happens inside the mind during these moments. People often insult themselves using language that's meant to be humorous, but also carries frustration. Saying, "I'm such a dumbass," after tripping over your own feet, or "I'm a total moron," after forgetting someone's name shows how people react to small failures. It's a way of admitting the mistake, but also making light of it. Sometimes, people try to calm themselves down with short phrases like "be cool" or "chill." These are very common, especially in American English. Chill is used to tell someone or yourself to relax. It's a friendly way to say, "Don't stress out." You might say, "Okay, chill. Just take a deep breath." Or "Be cool. Don't mess this up." These expressions are simple, but they help control stress when things start to feel overwhelming. There's also a physical side to these mental reactions. You might feel your hands sweating, your heart racing, or your mouth going dry. This is your body responding to nervous thoughts. The words you use in those moments can either help you stay calm or make you feel worse. That's why using calming language, even with yourself, is so powerful. Understanding and using these types of phrases gives English learners more than just vocabulary. It gives them a realistic way to express emotion, handle pressure, and relate to native speakers who go through the exact same things. Everyone has embarrassing moments. The key is learning how to talk through them, both in your head and out loud. Confidence can disappear in seconds when you feel out of place. One simple mistake, like using the wrong fork at dinner or saying something awkward, can make your brain shout, "What are you doing?" In moments like this, people often become their own worst critics. The language we use with ourselves matters more than we realize, and in English, self-criticism often comes through in slang, exaggeration, and emotional expressions. Imagine a guy on a date. He's nervous, trying to impress someone, and suddenly realizes he's eating the wrong salad. Instantly, he might think, "Oh no, I'm such a tool." That word, tool, is slang for someone who seems useless or awkward. It's a bit harsh, but people use it to make fun of themselves when they feel clumsy. It's a way of saying, "I totally messed up and I know it." Another word people use in these moments is moron. This word simply means someone who's not smart, but in casual speech, it's often used humorously. For example, "I forgot my wallet again. I'm such a moron." It sounds negative, but often it's said with a smile or a laugh, especially among friends. The humor helps reduce the embarrassment. Then there's dumbass, a slang term you'll hear often in TV shows or movies. It's not polite, but it's real and common. Someone might say, "Only a dumbass would forget the meeting time twice," or "I'm a dumbass for thinking that would work." It's a sharp way of expressing regret or frustration at your own mistake. It's important to understand the tone. People often use it to show how annoyed they are with themselves in a situation they wish had gone differently. But not all self-talk is negative. There are also phrases that people use to bring themselves back into control. One of the most common is "get it together." This phrase means pull yourself out of this spiral and focus. You might hear someone say, "Come on, get it together." You can do this right before walking into an interview or stepping onto a stage. It's a self-motivating push. Sometimes the advice is even simpler. Be cool. When said to yourself, it means don't let this stress show. Keep calm and act confident. You'll hear people say this before a big moment, like a first date, an important meeting, or even meeting someone new. Be cool. Don't overthink it. And of course, there's chill. Just one word, but carries a lot of meaning. It says, calm down, relax, don't panic. Someone in a stressful moment might whisper to themselves, chill. It's not the end of the world. These phrases are more than just words. They're emotional tools. They help people manage fear, embarrassment, and nervousness in daily life. For English learners, knowing these words and when to use them builds emotional fluency, the ability to express inner thoughts in a natural, relatable way. Everyone has a voice in their head. Learning to shape that voice with real, everyday English gives you power, not just over language, but over how you handle life's most human moments. Some of the most unforgettable moments in life are also the most embarrassing. Maybe you said something silly on a first date. Maybe you wore mismatched shoes to work. Or maybe, in a moment of panic, you ate someone else's salad by accident. These things happen to everyone, and while they're funny later, in the moment, they feel like disasters. The way we react, especially the words we use with ourselves, can make a big difference. English has a rich variety of slang and informal expressions that people use when they're flustered or feel foolish. One of the most common reactions is to blurt out, "Oh, crap." This phrase is a softer way of saying, something's gone wrong. You might use it when you realize you sent a wrong email, forgot your keys, or said something inappropriate. It's casual and emotional, like a verbal sigh of frustration. Another expression that shows internal panic is "what the hell." This phrase is used when you're confused, shocked, or annoyed. It adds intensity to your question. For example, "What the hell is going on?" or "Where the hell did I put my phone?" In emotional situations, people often add words like "the hell" or "on earth" to strengthen a question. These are not polite expressions, but they're real and common in informal speech. Now picture someone sitting at a dinner table, surrounded by forks and unsure which one to use. They might think, "Oh crap, which fork do I use?" Or "What the hell are all these forks for?" That flood of confusion is familiar, and it's often filled with quick, messy self-talk. People say things like, "She's going to think I'm a total idiot," or "I'm blowing this." The fear of making a bad impression leads to more stress and often more mistakes. To deal with this, people often give themselves simple commands: chill, be cool, or get it together. These phrases are short but powerful. They act as mental breaks, reminders to stop spiraling and stay calm. Saying chill to yourself is like telling your mind to take a breath. Saying be cool is like giving yourself permission to relax. And get it together is like grabbing all your scattered thoughts and putting them in order. Another phrase people use in emotional moments is "scream at the top of my lungs." This is not something you actually do. It's something you feel. If you're excited, nervous, or overwhelmed, you might think, "I want to scream at the top of my lungs right now." It means you're bursting with emotion, either joy, stress, or panic, and need a release. Understanding these expressions helps you follow native speakers in fast, emotional conversations. It also gives you the tools to express your own feelings more naturally. The more you know how to describe your reactions, the more confident you become, not just in language, but in managing real-life situations. Embarrassment is part of life, but if you can laugh about it later and talk about it clearly, you've already won. And when you have the words to express what you felt, you're not just learning English, you're mastering it. In awkward or intense situations, your internal dialogue often becomes louder than the actual conversation. You might look calm on the outside, but inside your mind, a storm is brewing. You start to second guess your every move, your every word. Did I just say something weird? Why did I laugh like that? Is she judging me? These thoughts spiral quickly, and unless you take control, they can completely take over. That's when phrases like get it together become more than just words. They become survival tools. Telling yourself to get it together is like giving yourself a mental reset. It's what people say when they feel their emotions slipping out of control. Whether you're shaking before a presentation, sweating through a first date, or panicking over a mistake, this phrase is your inner coach saying, "You can fix this." English speakers use it both seriously and playfully. A friend might say, "Get it together, man," if you're being dramatic. Or you might say to yourself, "Okay, get it together." Stay focused. The beauty of this expression is its versatility. It fits both personal motivation and casual advice. Another useful phrase is screaming at the top of my lungs. While this isn't something you'd literally do in a social situation, it describes a strong emotional urge. For example, I was so excited I wanted to scream at the top of my lungs, or I was so frustrated I felt like screaming at the top of my lungs. It paints a vivid picture of how intense your feelings are, even if you're holding them in. Then there's the internal name calling many people use when they feel embarrassed. Words like tool, moron, or dumbass might pop into your head when you trip over your words or drop your drink. While these words are negative, they're often used to express frustration in a way that's not too serious. Still, it's good to be careful with them, especially in formal settings or around people you don't know well. Interestingly, these emotional reactions aren't just about the situation. They're about how we see ourselves. When someone feels like they blew it on a date or messed up a first impression, what they're really saying is, "I care about how I come across." That self-awareness can lead to growth as long as it's balanced with kindness toward yourself. Learning how to talk yourself down from stress is just as important as knowing how to start conversation. Phrases like "be cool," "chill," and "get it together" are part of emotional language that helps you handle pressure without falling apart. These are the same phrases native speakers use every day when they feel overwhelmed or embarrassed. For English learners, mastering this kind of language adds depth to your skills. You're not just learning to describe things, you're learning to manage your reactions, handle your nerves, and speak to yourself in ways that make a difference. It's this emotional fluency that helps you not only sound natural, but also feel more in control in uncomfortable moments. First impressions can feel like everything. You want to seem confident, interesting, and composed. But even with the best intentions, things can go wrong. You spill water on your shirt. You say something awkward. You eat the wrong salad. In your head, the voice starts shouting, "Why did I do that? She's never going to talk to me again. I blew it." But here's the truth. Everyone has those moments. What matters most is how you handle them and the words you use with yourself when they happen. English gives you powerful tools to manage those situations. You've already learned phrases like chill, be cool, and get it together. These aren't just phrases, they're emotional resets. They remind you to stay calm, forgive yourself quickly, and move forward with confidence. Saying, "Okay, chill, you're fine," might not erase the mistake, but it helps you stay in control. And control matters. Not just control over the situation, but over your reaction to it. That's what emotional fluency is all about. Being able to describe your feelings, manage your thoughts, and express yourself in natural, real-life English. When you can say things like, "I totally messed that up," or "What the hell just happened?" and know exactly what it means and when to use it, you're not just speaking English, you're thinking in it. There's also power in self-awareness. If you can recognize your own thoughts, whether they're helpful or harmful, you can choose better words. Instead of calling yourself a moron or a tool, you might say, "That was awkward, but it's okay." That small shift in language changes everything. It doesn't erase the embarrassment, but it makes you stronger and more resilient. Real English isn't just about grammar or vocabulary lists. It's about life. It's about what you say when you're nervous, excited, embarrassed, or disappointed. It's about knowing how to respond to your own voice inside your head, and sometimes even laugh at it. So the next time your inner critic starts shouting, try talking back. Use the words you've learned. Give yourself grace. And remember, making mistakes is part of the process, both in life and in language.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
A dish made of raw vegetables.
Salad.
Truly.
Positively.
Very hungry.
Famished.
To be as loud as possible.
At the top of one's lungs.
An impolite way of calling someone foolish.
Dumbass.
Sexy to the greatest degree.
Sexy.
Someone who is stupid or useless.
Tool.
Control your emotions.
Get it together.
An impolite way of saying something is foolish.
Crap.
Someone who is very stupid.
Moron.
Calm down, relax.
Chill.
The belief that men and women should have equal rights and opportunities.
Feminism.
A romantic outing with someone that you have not met before.
Blind date.
A person who is very clumsy or awkward.
Spaz.
The way people see or perceive you the first time you meet.
First impression.
To miss an opportunity or chance.
Blow it. Let's try that faster.
An impolite way of calling someone foolish.
Dumbass.
Calm down, relax.
Chill.
Very hungry.
Famished.
Someone who is stupid or useless.
Tool.
To be as loud as possible.
At the top of one's lungs.
Truly.
Positively.
Sexy to the greatest degree.
Sexy.
Someone who is very stupid.
Moron.
An impolite way of saying something is foolish.
Crap.
Control your emotions.
Get it together.
A dish made of raw vegetables.
Salad.
To miss an opportunity or chance.
Blow it.
A person who is very clumsy or awkward.
Spaz.
The way people see or perceive you the first time you meet.
First impression.
The belief that men and women should have equal rights and opportunities.
Feminism.
A romantic outing with someone that you have not met before.
Blind date. Now say the word and hear it in a sentence. Dumbass. You're such a dumbass. You can't carry marijuana into the airport. Dumbass. James is such a dumbass. No wonder girls don't like him. Dumbass. That was a really dumbass thing to do. Who the hell forgot to lock the office door? Nick is 4 hours late. Where the hell is he? Why the hell would I know who started the fight? I wasn't there. I was screaming at the top of my lungs, but no one heard me. That guy looks crazy. He's screaming at the top of his lungs. We were screaming at the top of our lungs because we were so excited. Get it together. Get it together. Now is not the time to start crying. Get it together. I'm so stressed out. I just can't seem to get it together. Get it together. We were having a terrible game, but then we got it together and won the match. Chill. Chill. I'll be there in 5 minutes. Chill. I'm just chilling with my friends. Chill. Chill out, man. It's not a big problem.
I don't know why I get so nervous on first dates. Maybe it's because I overthink everything. Like tonight, I stood in front of the mirror for almost 20 minutes, trying to figure out which shirt made me look more confident. Whatever that means. I kept telling myself, come on, just relax, you've got this. But deep down, I was already starting the negative self-talk. You know, that little voice in your head that whispers you're gonna mess this up. You always do. I tried to ignore it, but it's like a radio you can't turn off. I even talked to myself in the car. Be cool. Be normal. Don't act like a moron. Sounds crazy, right? But talking to myself actually helped a bit. It was like having a coach inside my brain. The restaurant was fancy, way fancier than I'm used to. As I walked in, I saw her sitting at the table. She looked absolutely stunning, and suddenly, all the words I practiced in the mirror disappeared. My palms were sweating. I could literally feel my brain shutting down. I smiled and said hello, and then boom, panic mode. I sat down and almost knocked over my water glass. Smooth move. I thought, nice job, dumbass. But I forced a laugh, tried to play it cool, even though I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. First impressions matter, right? That's what everyone says. But sometimes, Trying too hard just makes everything worse. I reminded myself, get it together, man. This is just dinner. You're not climbing Mount Everest. And then the waiter came with the menus, and I thought, please don't let me pronounce anything wrong. The moment I picked up the menu, my mind went blank. I stared at the words like they were written in ancient Greek. What's the difference between vinaigrette and velouté anyway? I was too embarrassed to ask, so I just pointed at something and hoped it wasn't frog legs. Meanwhile, she looked so calm and confident, like she dined in places like this every weekend. She smiled politely, making small talk, and I nodded and smiled back like an awkward robot, not hearing half of what she said because my brain was screaming, don't mess this up. Don't mess this up. I tried to focus. Chill. I whispered quietly under my breath. Be cool. You're doing fine. But then it happened. The waiter placed her salad down first, and she said, thank you. So gracefully, like a movie star. Then he handed me mine, and I stared at the forks like they were surgical tools. There were 3 of them. 3. I didn't know which one to use, and I panicked. Which fork do I use for salad? Is there a salad fork? Oh crap. I glanced at her plate to see which one she picked, but she hadn't started yet. So I grabbed the middle fork, hoping it wasn't the dessert one, and forced myself to eat a bite. That's when I heard her voice. I think you're eating my salad. My heart stopped. I looked down. Yup, I had somehow taken her plate. What the hell is wrong with me? I felt like a complete idiot. I stuttered some apology, tried to make a joke, but I could tell my face was turning red. I wanted to crawl under the table and disappear. I smiled awkwardly and gave her back her salad. She laughed a little, not in a mean way, more like she was surprised. It's okay, she said. But inside, I was beating myself up. You absolute tool. Get it together before you blow this. After that salad disaster, I tried to pretend like everything was fine. I kept smiling, nodding, throwing in the occasional, oh yeah, totally, even when I had no idea what she was talking about. I was too busy arguing with myself in my head. Why did you grab her plate? You weren't even that hungry. You're not starving. You're not famished. You're just stupid. But I had to stop the spiral. I took a deep breath and whispered, okay, get it together. You're not a complete moron. It's weird how much we talk to ourselves. I don't mean out loud, though I do that too sometimes, but inside, where no one else can hear. And honestly, half of that talk is pretty mean. We call ourselves names we'd never say to another person. If a friend made a mistake like that, I'd laugh and say, no big deal, man. It happens. But when it's me, it's all insults. Dumbass. Idiot. Tool. It's like I become my own worst enemy. I looked at her again, and she was telling a story about some trip to Italy. Her eyes lit up when she talked, and for a second, I stopped worrying. I actually listened. Her voice was calm, full of excitement, and I found myself smiling for real. Not that fake, I hope you don't see I am panicking smile. A real one. And in that moment, I realized something important. Maybe being cool isn't about being perfect. Maybe it's just about being present. I let out a soft chill, man, under my breath again, and actually joined the conversation. I told her about my own travel disaster, how I once got stuck in an airport overnight because I booked the wrong date. She laughed. Like, really laughed. And for the first time that evening, I didn't feel like a complete idiot. I felt human. Imperfect, but okay. Maybe even interesting. As the main course arrived, something changed. I wasn't obsessing over every move anymore. I wasn't overanalyzing my every word or scanning her face for signs of disappointment. I just let go. I reminded myself again, be cool, and this time, it actually worked. The steak looked amazing, but of course I wasn't sure if I should start yet. Was it rude to eat before she took a bite? Should I wait? Should I cut it all first or just eat one piece at a time? My brain wanted to start overthinking again, but I stopped it. I told myself, dude, you're not at a royal dinner. Just act natural. I smiled and asked her if she liked her dish. She smiled back and said, yeah, it's great. Want to try a bite? And just like that, the awkward tension melted away. I wasn't some useless tool fumbling through a date. I was a guy having dinner with someone interesting. We started talking about real things, books, family, embarrassing childhood memories. She even told me about a time she called her teacher Mom by accident in 3rd grade. We both laughed so hard we almost choked. I realized something during that conversation. People connect over flaws, not perfection. It's the silly moments, the mistakes, the oh crap times that make us relatable. I told her about how I once accidentally sent a love message to my boss instead of my girlfriend. Oh my God, are you serious? She gasped. What the hell did he say? I told her he never brought it up, but he started calling me Romeo in meetings. We laughed until tears came. That's when I noticed I had stopped insulting myself. I wasn't thinking don't screw this up anymore. I was thinking this is going well. Just be yourself. It was like switching off that harsh inner critic and turning on a kinder, calmer voice. The voice that says, you're okay. You're doing fine. Just enjoy this. Somewhere between dessert and the end of the 2nd cup of coffee, I started realizing how different the night had become. It had started with panic, with me talking to myself like I was the dumbest person alive. But now I was talking to myself in a new way, not in fear, but in curiosity. I found myself thinking, hey, you're actually enjoying this, aren't you? She leaned in slightly when she talked, and her eyes sparkled when she laughed. And I wasn't obsessing over how to impress her. I was just being present, just being me. And for the first time in a long time, that felt like enough. I remembered how earlier, I'd whispered things like, you idiot, what the hell are you doing? But now I was smiling to myself and thinking, you know what? Maybe you're not such a disaster after all. Self-talk is powerful, can destroy you or lift you up. The words we say to ourselves create the story we believe. I used to believe I always blew it on first dates, that I'd say something dumb or do something clumsy, and the other person would secretly be counting the minutes until they could leave. But not tonight. Tonight, I caught myself changing the script. When I almost spilled a drop of coffee, I didn't beat myself up. I laughed and said, whoops, close one, and moved on. When I told a joke and she didn't get it, I didn't panic. I just reworded it and we laughed together. It wasn't about perfection. It was about connection. That's the biggest lesson I learned tonight. If you talk to yourself like a loser, you'll act like one. But if you talk to yourself like a friend, like someone worth listening to, then you'll give yourself space to grow, to enjoy, to belong. As we stood outside the restaurant saying goodbye, I felt a strange mix of emotions. Relief, pride, and something close to joy. The night had started as a mess, but it ended feeling real, warm, and unexpectedly beautiful. She smiled and said she had a great time. I believed her, not because she was being polite, but because I'd actually been myself. Not some perfect version I imagined in the mirror, but the real me, the guy who talks to himself, who messes up, who laughs at his own awkwardness and keeps going anyway. On the walk back to my car, I smiled to myself. I whispered, you did it, man. You didn't blow it. And that small sentence felt like a huge victory. It wasn't just about a date. It was about the shift in how I see myself. I used to think that confidence came from doing everything right. But tonight taught me something more powerful. Confidence comes from forgiving yourself when you don't. I used to believe that talking to yourself meant you were crazy. Now I know it means you're human. But it matters how you talk to yourself. Are you cheering yourself on or tearing yourself down? Because that voice in your head, it's always listening. And it repeats what it hears. If it hears kindness, it gives you peace. If it hears cruelty, it feeds your anxiety. So now I choose to talk to myself like I would to someone I care about. I say things like, "You've got this. It's okay. You're learning." And sometimes even, "You're doing better than you think." That voice helped me tonight, kept me from falling apart. It helped me laugh when things went wrong. It helped me show up. And maybe, just maybe, that's what real confidence looks like. Not pretending to be perfect, but being kind to yourself when you're not.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
A dish made of raw vegetables.
Salad.
Truly.
Positively.
Very hungry.
Famished.
To be as loud as possible.
At the top of one's lungs.
An impolite way of calling someone foolish.
Dumbass.
Sexy to the greatest degree.
Sexy.
Someone who is stupid or useless.
Tool.
Control your emotions.
Get it together.
An impolite way of saying something is foolish.
Crap.
Someone who is very stupid.
Moron.
Calm down, relax.
Chill.
The belief that men and women should have equal rights and opportunities.
Feminism.
A romantic outing with someone that you have not met before.
Blind date.
A person who is very clumsy or awkward.
Spaz.
The way people see or perceive you the first time you meet.
First impression.
To miss an opportunity or chance.
Blow it. Let's try that faster.
An impolite way of calling someone foolish.
Dumbass.
Calm down, relax.
Chill.
Very hungry.
Famished.
Someone who is stupid or useless.
Tool.
To be as loud as possible.
At the top of one's lungs.
Truly.
Positively.
Sexy to the greatest degree.
Sexy.
Someone who is very stupid.
Moron.
An impolite way of saying something is foolish.
Crap.
Control your emotions.
Get it together.
A dish made of raw vegetables.
Salad.
To miss an opportunity or chance.
Blow it.
A person who is very clumsy or awkward.
Spaz.
The way people see or perceive you the first time you meet.
First impression.
The belief that men and women should have equal rights and opportunities.
Feminism.
A romantic outing with someone that you have not met before.
Blind date. Now say the word and hear it in a sentence. Dumbass. You're such a dumbass. You can't carry marijuana into the airport. Dumbass. James is such a dumbass. No wonder girls don't like him. Dumbass. That was a really dumbass thing to do. Who the hell forgot to lock the office door? Nick is 4 hours late. Where the hell is he? Why the hell would I know who started the fight? I wasn't there. I was screaming at the top of my lungs, but no one heard me. That guy looks crazy. He's screaming at the top of his lungs. We were screaming at the top of our lungs because we were so excited. Get it together. Get it together. Now is not the time to start crying. Get it together. I'm so stressed out. I just can't seem to get it together. Get it together. We were having a terrible game, but then we got it together and won the match. Chill. Chill. I'll be there in 5 minutes. Chill. I'm just chilling with my friends. Chill. Chill out, man. It's not a big problem.
Thank you for being part of the English Smart Podcast.